Are you curious about what steps you need to take in order to put an offer on a house or what it looks like to write a contract? Well, this video is for you. If you're maybe getting ready to make an offer, or maybe you've made an offer in the past and you're curious what the updates are, that's what I'm talking about today. Stay tuned. We'll give you some behind the scenes of how I walk my clients through some of the options that we have to write a contract. Hey, it's Laurie. You and I are working together. Thank you so much for trusting me, but I wanted to give you an idea of what questions I might have about what you want to offer for the property that you're looking at. So I'm going to walk through the contract. I have it right in front of me. I'm going to walk through it step by step so you understand what goes into the contract. And if you have any questions along the way, you can ask me. So first, you'll notice it's pretty lengthy. It's like 11 pages for the contract. And the first page, the first block is number one, it's parties. So that's the buyer and seller information. Obviously, I have your information as the buyer. The seller's information, I can get off of the appraisal district. Pretty much everything is public information. And so that's where I get that information. Number two is the property. It also is on the appraisal district. It's the legal description of the property, also lot, block, things like that I'll put in so that we know exactly the place that you're offering for. Number three is the sales price. The sales price is what you are going to offer for the house, but I will ask you what you're financing. And the reason why that is there's a block on here that asks how much cash you're putting down. So let's say you're going to put $100,000 and at the end you say it's only 80. It's not a big deal. The big deal is that you know exactly how much of a down payment you need for the loan that you have. And that's what you would talk to your lender through. So I put the amount of cash you're bringing, the amount you're financing, and it gives us a total sales price. Number five, it's the earnest money and the option period. So we've talked about this in another video, but just so you know, the earnest money is typically 1% of the sales price. The option period is the one that's a little bit more negotiable. Typically, what I normally see is somewhere between 7 to 10 days, sometimes 5, sometimes longer, usually about $10 a day, not usually less than that, sometimes more than that, is the opportunity for you to do your due diligence. So this is when option period is when we ask for time to go in and do inspections. It's the time period that we would renegotiate if we have any repairs that we need, but it's the ability for you to get out of the contract for any reason at all within that set period of time that we've offered or asked for. The title policy and survey are the next section. So the owner's title policy basically is allowing the title company to look through and make sure that there's no liens or any issues on the title of the home. And then the survey gives you the boundaries. So to make sure that you know any easements, encroachments. I'm going to have another video on it, but this part of the contract is something that we have to put in because there's added fees, different percentages of fees for the title and the survey, but it's one of the negotiation. It could be a buyer fee or a seller fee. It just depends on what we negotiate. Almost always, if you pay title, you get to pick the title company. If we have received seller's disclosures. So seller's disclosures are what the seller has to fill out. And it tells you everything that they know that is in the property or any issues that have arisen in the property. So it's something that we get under contract, we would initial those. And part of the contract, if they haven't given it to us before we make an offer, it's one of the boxes that we say within, usually I say within 3 days, we need seller's disclosures so we can know what we're looking at. Typically, for me, I like to ask for those ahead of time so we don't make an offer and waste time if we know there's some major things that have been repaired or have issues. Number 9 is the closing date. Normally it's 30 to 45 days. Sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter, but the closing date is important. And when I ask you about closing dates, remember that you want to be most people, not everyone, we can get a mobile notary, but most people want to be live and in person to their closing so that you can sign all the documents. And so make sure that your schedules align with whatever we pick. Then we'll ask about closing costs. So closing costs is the upfront cash that you have to bring to close. Closing costs is that down payment, that percentage that you need to put down based on the loan that you have. It also includes some other costs, as in the insurance policy for a year, and also taxes are going to be part of that closing cost. So you want to get with your lender to see if there's any additional closing costs that we want to ask for. A lot of times where I see closing costs come in is if the interest rate is high at the time, the buyer can ask the seller to give money to do a buy down on the rate. And that usually goes a lot longer than if you personally by points with your lender. Now, it's not in the offer. It used to be in our contract. It's changed since August 17th, 2024, but it will also be a section that we have to talk about is your agent fees. And so that is something that's negotiable, and we'll talk about it along the way. Probably needs its own video. But those are the big major pieces that I'll ask you as far as terms that you can negotiate. The biggest ones that most people think is the cost. So you're thinking about sales price, closing costs. Oh, last one, I almost forgot, home warranty. You can ask for a home warranty. The sellers can pay a certain amount, $500 to $1,000. You get to pick the home warranty and they pay for it for the first year. That's another thing that we can write into the contract. But that pretty much wraps up the big terms. If there's any other nuances, I'll usually talk to you one-on-one about it. Thank you for watching today. If you have questions that I might not have covered, drop me a comment and I'd be happy to reach out, or you can contact me directly and I would love to help you navigate the market, or if you have any questions. If you found this video helpful, I'd love if you like and subscribe to the video so you can be up to date on what's going on in our community and real estate. And also, don't forget to find me on Instagram. Instagram is the place where I give you more behind the scenes of my community, family, and real estate. I love to connect people in many different areas, so whichever the best place is for you, I'm happy to help. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.